Hello and welcome. As an applicant for U.S. citizenship, you're probably anxious to know what happens after filing the N-400 and how long it will take to become a naturalized citizen. The following list describes the basic steps in the process for most people. Please remember that although the steps that take place are fairly consistent, the N-400 processing time can vary significantly based on the USCIS caseload, the USCIS office where you filed, and an accurately prepared Form N-400. There is an approximate time frame provided. However, this time frame can vary significantly for some cases. All right, so let's begin here. After you filed your form, approximately 2 to 3 weeks after filing, you will receive a receipt of application. This is how USCIS will initially respond. You will get a Form I-797C Notice of Action. So it's very important that you save this letter because it contains your 10-digit receipt number. And then you'll be able to use this receipt number to check your case status. If you do not receive this letter, this notice of action, 2 to 3 weeks after filing, then you'll need to make a case inquiry online. I will put all those links below. All right. If your Form N-400 has not been filed properly, USCIS may send you a notice of action to reject the petition, or may send you a request for evidence that requests additional items. Both of those notices may significantly delay your request. Okay, just so you know. All right, approximately 3 to 5 weeks after filing, you will receive an appointment notice that assigns your biometrics appointment date, time, and location. USCIS requires applicants to be fingerprinted for the purpose of conducting a security clearance and criminal background check. All applicants must have a background check, and you will be required to attend a biometrics appointment regardless of your age. Okay? All right, so once you receive your notice for your appointment, you'll go to your appointment. It is also known, the biometrics appointment is also known as a biometrics screening. It's generally a short appointment so that USCIS can collect your fingerprints, photograph, and signature. This is the photograph that will most likely be on your certificate of naturalization, just so you know. Your appointment notice will tell you what you need to take to the appointment, but expect to take some form of photo identification to enter the building. If you do not have your green card, USCIS can accept other ID documents such as passport or national photo identification issued by your country, your driver's license, a military photo identification, or a state-issued photo identification card. Okay, now 3 to 5 months after filing, you'll get your appointment notice for naturalization interview. There is typically a long wait between your biometrics appointment and your interview, so don't get too nervous. USCIS will tell you to check your case status online and the processing time page for your field office. And I'll put those links below. Okay, so please make sure you make every attempt to attend the interview time as scheduled for you. Rescheduling an interview may add several months to the naturalization process. And I notice right here I have, okay, so you will receive your appointment for naturalization 3 to 5 months after filing. That is running longer right now, I could tell you. And then your naturalization interview approximately 5 to 8 months after filing. Okay? Please remember to bring all your paperwork and documents to the interview, including your tax returns or tax transcript. Bring as many original documents as possible. At the interview, a USCIS officer will typically go through the entire N-400 application to confirm that the answers previously provided are still correct. In fact, because it could be 8 months after you filed, and a lot happens in 8 months, so they're going to go through it pretty carefully. They're going to go through it pretty carefully, question by question. So, and in fact, your ability to understand these questions and answers is part of your English comprehension test. Okay, so please make sure you know that form very well. Okay. All right. Additionally, they will ask you to read and write a sentence in English. They'll administer the history civics examination and will review the results from your background check. If there are any issues that are out of the ordinary, like a previous arrest, or if taxes are owed to the government, then further questions and examination are usually done. Okay? Please make sure to bring, if anything happened during those 8 months before your interview, please make sure that you bring it with you. If you got married, if you went out of the country, if you were arrested, bring all the documentation, okay? Please bring originals, if possible, of all your forms. All right. Results of the interview, okay? If you are informed at the interview that you've been preliminarily approved for naturalization, yay, then the next step will be to wait for the notice with the place and time of the oath ceremony. An applicant does not officially become a United States citizen until after he or she is sworn in at the oath ceremony. Now, in some cases, the USCIS officer will not be able to make a decision on the application for naturalization on the day of your interview. In these cases, the USCIS officer will continue your case. This may include a request for you to provide additional evidence or require a second interview. That's why we tell you to bring everything. Bring your tax transcripts, even though you might not show them anything. Bring everything you can think of to that interview, because you just never know what they're going to ask to see. All right. After your interview, USCIS will give you Form N-652 Naturalization Interview Results. It provides you with information about the results of your interview. They will either grant, continue, or deny your naturalization application after your interview. So granted, USCIS may approve your Form N-400 if the evidence on record establishes your eligibility for naturalization. It may be continued. This is where if you failed a test or did not give USCIS the correct documents, this will add time to your case, because you will need to correct the problem, or you might need to come back in to do the part that you failed. Okay? Denied. All right, denied is USCIS will deny your Form N-400 if the evidence on record establishes you are not eligible for naturalization. Okay. If you believe that USCIS incorrectly denied your Form N-400, if you got denied, you may request a hearing to appeal this decision by filing Form N-336, Request for a Hearing on a Decision in Naturalization Proceedings. Need to do this within 30 days of that decision date. 5 common reasons the Form N-400 is denied. They include if you failed the English and or the civics tests, okay? Your criminal history background, failure to meet continuous residence and physical presence requirements. That's those trips that you may have taken. Failure to meet financial obligations. This more deals with tax records, or if you fail to pay child support or alimony. And of course, fraud and lying to USCIS will be, obviously looked down upon, and your application will be denied. All right. If you get through all that, you'll get a notice of oath ceremony. You should get your notice of oath ceremony approximately 1 to 4 weeks after your interview. Okay, and if your interview was successful, you will receive N-400. Don't you love these forms? It's the Notice of Naturalization Oath Ceremony. The notice will include a request to answer some additional questions that will be submitted at the actual oath ceremony. On this, you'll notice more questions because if something changed between your interview and your oath ceremony, you might not have your oath ceremony for a few months after your interview, and you may have gotten married or had another child, things like that. They're going to want to know what happened, if anything. All right. If you cannot attend your scheduled naturalization ceremony, return the notice, Form N-445, to your local USCIS office, along with a letter requesting a new date and explaining why you cannot attend the scheduled naturalization ceremony. Because if you just fail to appear, if you fail to appear for your interview, or if you just fail to appear for the ceremony, that may lead to denial of the application. All right, so the oath of allegiance ceremony itself is approximately 6 to 10 months after filing. So from initially filing, some field offices are running on time and they're getting the applications through with usually the 6 to 8 month time period, but we've definitely are seeing things taking much longer, running around 10 months, sometimes even a little bit longer than that. Please remember that you are not a U.S. citizen until you take the oath of allegiance at a naturalization ceremony. The oath is administered by USCIS at an administrative ceremony or by a judge in a judicial ceremony. That's especially if you change your name. So after taking the oath of allegiance, you will turn in your green card and receive your certificate of naturalization. So congratulations there. If you've made it that far, that is fabulous. You're going to need to go get your passport. All right, tip here. Review your certificate of naturalization and notify USCIS of any corrections to your certificate before leaving the ceremony site. Please make sure you look at that certificate very carefully and let anyone know if something is wrong right there. So, in conclusion, how long does it take to become a U.S. citizen? Wow. After filing Form N-400, the entire naturalization process can take anywhere from 5 to 10 months. This is an approximation. It may be shorter for some and longer for others. Okay, but don't forget, you can check your case status online with your receipt number. The USCIS website also lists N-400 processing times for each field office. If you believe that your case is outside the normal processing times, you can make a case inquiry. So if it's way outside these time frames I'm giving you, then you could put in it's kind of an email case inquiry and ask them, to check on your case. If you move, very important, after filing your application, you must notify USCIS. And I'll put all these links below, including that link of how to update your address, because that's very important. They will be sending you, they usually notify you everything through the mail. So you need to make sure they have your correct address. All right. And Thank you. Thank you for joining me for the process of citizenship. Good luck to everyone. And once again, please post comments and questions below. Thank you and have a wonderful day.